Dreams demand sacrifice. That's the brutal truth. Nothing worth having in this world comes easy, and those who tell you otherwise, they're lying, or they've never chased something bigger than themselves. Because when you dare to dream, truly dream, you set yourself apart from the crowd, and that comes at a cost. The late nights, the early mornings, the missed parties, the moments when everyone else seems to be enjoying life, and you're in the trenches, working. It feels unfair sometimes, doesn't it? You watch others laugh and live while you're grinding, sacrificing, bleeding for something they can't even see. But here's what they don't understand. What you're doing isn't just work. It's transformation. You're becoming something they'll never be, someone they'll never have the discipline to become. Because dreams don't come cheap. They take pieces of you, pieces of your comfort, your time, your relationships. You'll lose friends. You'll lose sleep. Hell, you might even lose parts of yourself along the way. But that's the price of greatness. And the question is, are you willing to pay it? Because most people aren't. They want the dream, sure. They want the glory, the recognition, the success. But when it comes time to pay the price, they turn back. They settle for good enough. But you don't want good enough. You want it all. And to have it all, you must be willing to give it all. You must be willing to sacrifice the person you are today for the person you want to become. That means letting go of the excuses. I don't have time. I'm too tired. I'll start tomorrow. No. The dream doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't care about your comfort, your fears, or your limitations. It demands your all. And if you're not willing to give it, someone else will. Someone else who's hungrier. Someone else who's willing to outwork you. Someone else who sees the same dream and refuses to let it slip away. So ask yourself, how badly do you want it? Because if you want it as badly as you say you do, then you'll make the sacrifices. You'll cut out the distractions. You'll embrace the pain. You'll push through the exhaustion, the frustration, the loneliness. Because that's what it takes. And when the world tries to pull you back, when it whispers in your ear, why bother? Why not quit? And you'll remember why you started. You'll remember the vision that keeps you awake at night, the fire that burns in your chest. And you'll keep going. Because dreams demand sacrifice. But they also give you something in return. They give you purpose. They give you a reason to wake up in the morning. They give you the strength to endure, to fight, to push beyond what you thought was possible. And when you finally reach that dream, when you stand at the top and look back at everything you gave, you'll realize it was worth it. Every sleepless night, every tear, every drop of blood and sweat. Because the person you became along the way, the strength, the discipline, the resilience, that person was born out of sacrifice. So embrace it. Don't run from the hard days. Don't fear the pain. Because every sacrifice you make is a step closer to the life you've always wanted. And when the world looks at you and wonders how you did it, you'll smile. Because you'll know what they don't. Dreams aren't hunted out, they're earned. And you've earned every piece of it. Now go. Sacrifice what you must. And show the world what happens when someone refuses to quit on their dream. Because the dream, it's waiting. But only for those willing to pay the price. And here's the thing about paying the price, it's not a one-time transaction. Sacrifice isn't something you do once and walk away from. No, it's a constant daily choice. Every single day you wake up and you're faced with the question, what are you willing to give up today for the dream you want tomorrow? Because the distractions never go away. The temptations to take the easy path, to rest, to settle, they'll follow you, whispering in your ear every chance they get. But you've got to drown them out. You've got to remind yourself why you're doing this. You're not chasing the dream for comfort. You're chasing it because it means something. It means freedom. It means purpose. It means proving to yourself and the world that you're capable of something extraordinary. And that's not something you can achieve by clinging to the old, comfortable version of yourself. The version of you that stays up late watching meaningless shows. The version of you that skips the hard work because it's too much or too hard. The version of you that says, maybe tomorrow. That version of you has to die. Because to reach your dream, you have to become someone else, someone stronger, smarter, more focused, more relentless. And that transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the grind. It happens in the moments when no one's watching, when it's just you and the work in front of you. It happens when you sacrifice the instant gratification for the long-term reward. Because the truth is, most people aren't willing to make those sacrifices. They'd rather have the comfort of now than the success of later. But you're not most people. You're the one who chooses the hard road. You're the one who keeps going, even when it feels impossible. You're the one who understands that every sacrifice you make today is an investment in your future. And when that future comes, when you stand on the other side of the struggle, looking back at everything you gave, you'll realize something incredible. You didn't just achieve the dream. You became the dream. Because the person who emerges from the fire of sacrifice isn't the same person who stepped into it. They're stronger. They're wiser. Hey, they're unstoppable. And when the world sees that, they'll wonder how you did it. But they won't see the late nights, the early mornings, the tears, the doubts, the sacrifices. They'll only see the result. And that's okay. Because you didn't do this for them. You did this for you. For the dream that wouldn't let you sleep. For the vision that wouldn't leave your mind. For the life you knew you were meant to live. So keep going. Keep sacrificing. Keep fighting for the dream, no matter how hard it gets. Because one day you'll wake up, and the dream will be your reality. And in that moment, you'll know it was worth every single thing you gave up. Every ounce of pain. Every moment of doubt. Every sacrifice. Because dreams demand sacrifice. But they give you something far greater in return. They give you yourself, the strongest, most powerful version of you. So don't stop now. Keep pushing. Keep grinding. Keep sacrificing. Because the dream is worth it. And so are you. And when the dream is finally yours, when you stand at the peak of everything you've worked for, you'll understand something no one else can, what it means to truly earn something. Because this isn't about luck. It isn't about shortcuts. It isn't about stumbling into success by chance. It's about grit, discipline, sacrifice. The late nights you spent working when everyone else was asleep. The moments when you could have quit but didn't. The times when the weight of the world was on your shoulders, and you carried it anyway. That's what separates you from the rest. And even if they don't see it, even if they'll never understand the price you paid, you'll know. You'll know the fire you walked through to get here. You'll know the doubts you silenced, the fears you faced, the weaknesses you overcame. And you'll stand there, not just proud of what you've achieved, but proud of who you've become. Because that's the real reward, isn't it? It's not the money, not the recognition, not the applause. It's the transformation. It's becoming the kind of person who refuses to quit. The kind of person who doesn't just dream but fights for those dreams with everything they have. The kind of person who, no matter what life throws at them, finds a way to rise. Because life will test you. It will push you to your breaking point. It will make you question everything, your strength, your worth, your very existence. But those moments, they're not there to destroy you. They're there to forge you. To turn you into someone who doesn't just survive but thrives. Someone who stands in the face of adversity and says, "Is that all you've got?" Because once you've sacrificed for your dreams, once you've given everything you have, there's nothing left to fear. You've faced the worst, the doubts, the pain, the loneliness, and you've come out stronger. And now, you're unstoppable. Because the person who masters sacrifice masters their destiny. They understand that every no they say to the distractions, every hour they spend working instead of resting, every piece of comfort they give up, it's all worth it. Because the dream isn't just a destination. It's a journey. A journey that changes you, shapes you, breaks you down and builds you back up. And when you reach the end of that journey, when you hold the dream in your hands, you'll know it wasn't just about achieving something. It was about becoming someone. someone unbreakable, someone who knows their worth, someone who refuses to settle for anything less than the life they've always imagined. And that life, it's waiting for you, but only if you're willing to sacrifice for it. So don't stop now. Don't let the weight of the world slow you down. Don't let the doubts, the fears, the pain convince you to quit. Because you're closer than you think. Every step you take, every sacrifice you make, it's bringing you closer to the dream. And when you finally get there, you'll look back at everything you gave up, and you'll smile. Because you'll know it was all worth it. Every moment of struggle, every ounce of pain, every sacrifice, it was worth it. Because now the dream is yours, and nothing can take that away from you. So go on. Sacrifice what you must. Fight for what you want. And never, ever stop. Because you're not just chasing a dream. You're building a legacy. A legacy that will echo long after you're gone. Because what you're doing now, it's bigger than just you. It's about proving what's possible. It's about showing the world that no matter where you come from, no matter how many odds are stacked against you, you can rise. You can carve your name into history. And when people see your journey, they won't just see your success. They'll see the sacrifices that built it. They'll see the nights you stayed up, the tears you shed, the battles you fought. And they'll realize something. They'll realize that greatness isn't born, it's made. It's made in the fire of sacrifice, in the grind, in the relentless pursuit of a vision that no one else can see. And you've chosen to walk that path. A path few dare to take. A path that demands everything but gives back even more. Because when you sacrifice for your dream, you're not just building a life, you're building a legacy. A legacy that says, I was here, I fought, I conquered, I made my mark. And isn't that what life is about? Not just existing, but leaving something behind. Something that says you didn't just survive, you lived. You dared to dream. You dared to fight. You dared to sacrifice for something bigger than yourself. And when the world tries to pull you down, when it tries to convince you that your dreams are impossible, you'll stand tall. Because you'll know the truth. You'll know that the only thing standing between you and your dream is the price you're willing to pay. And you're willing to pay it all. Because you understand something they don't. You understand that the pain, the struggle, the sacrifice, it's all temporary. But the legacy you're building, that lasts forever. So keep going. Keep pushing. Keep sacrificing. Nay. Because every step you take, every ounce of effort you give, every sacrifice you make, it's all building towards something extraordinary. Something that will outlive you. Something that will inspire others to chase their own dreams, to fight their own battles, to carve their own legacies. And when your story is told, they won't just talk about what you achieved. They'll talk about how you achieved it. The discipline, the grit, the sacrifices. Because that's what sets you apart. That's what makes you unstoppable. And that's what makes your dream worth fighting for. So don't stop now. Don't let the fear, the doubt, the pain hold you back. Because you're not just chasing a dream, you're creating a life, a legacy, a story that will be remembered. And in the end, when you've given everything you have, when you've sacrificed everything you could, you'll realize something. You didn't just win. You became the victory. You became the proof that dreams aren't impossible, that they're not out of reach, that they're worth every sacrifice. And you are worth every bit of it too. Now go. Master your mind. Own your sacrifices. And make your dream a reality. Because the world is waiting to see what happens when someone refuses to quit. And when you refuse to quit, you become something the world can't ignore. You become the storm. The force that others look to and say, how did they do it? How did they overcome everything that was meant to break them? But they don't see the battles you fought in silence. They don't see the war inside your mind, the moments you questioned everything. They only see the result, the strength, the resilience, the unshakable will you've built through sacrifice. And that's okay. Because you didn't do this for their applause. You didn't sacrifice for their approval. You did it for the dream. You did it because something inside you couldn't settle. Something inside you knew there was more to life than just existing, than just surviving. You wanted to thrive. You wanted to leave your mark. And now, as you stand on the edge of everything you've worked for, the world will feel different. The noise, the distractions, the doubts, they'll fade into the background because you'll finally understand what it means to own your life. Not because it was given to you, not because it was handed down, but because you fought for it. You earned it. And when people see you standing there, unshaken, they'll think you were born strong. They'll think you were lucky, that it came easy for you. But you'll know the truth. You'll know every sacrifice, every tear, every drop of blood and sweat that went into becoming the person you are today. And that truth, that's what makes it all worth it. Because there's a power in knowing you've earned every inch of your success. It's a power no one can take away from you. It's a power that comes from mastering your mind, from silencing the doubts, from pushing through the pain, the fear, the exhaustion. And that power, it's yours. Not because you were given it, but because you built it. Brick by brick, day by day, sacrifice by sacrifice. So when the next storm comes, and you won't run, you'll face it head on. Because you've already proven to yourself that you're capable of enduring anything. You've already shown the world that no matter how hard it gets, you'll keep moving forward. And that's why you can't lose. Because the only way to truly lose is to stop, to give in, to quit. But you won't. You've come too far, fought too hard, sacrificed too much to stop now. And even if the path gets darker, even if the obstacles get harder, you'll keep going. Because you know what's waiting for you on the other side of the struggle. Not just the dream, but the person you're becoming. The one who doesn't give up. The one who doesn't back down. The one who understands that the only limits that exist are the ones in your mind. And you've already shattered those. So keep moving. Keep sacrificing. Keep fighting for what you want. Because every step forward is a step closer to a life most people only dream of. A life you've earned. And when you finally look back at the path you've taken, at the mountains you've climbed, you'll realize something. It was never about the destination. It was about the journey. The sacrifices, the pain, the growth, that's what made it all worth it. That's what turned your dream into a reality. And that's what made you into the person you are today. Unbreakable, unstoppable, unforgettable. Now go and show the world what happens when someone refuses to quit. Because when you refuse to quit, you don't just win battles, you win wars. Wars against doubt, wars against fear, wars against every voice that ever told you you can't. You crush every lie, every limitation, every excuse. And the moment you decide to keep going, to sacrifice again, to take one more step, you separate yourself from the rest. Because most people don't have it in them. They crumble at the first sign of pain. They break when the weight gets heavy. They give up when the world tells them no. But not you. Boy, you're different. You've made a decision that most people are too afraid to make. You've chosen to fight for what you want. And that choice, that's everything. Because life doesn't hand out rewards to the weak or the hesitant. It gives them to the relentless, the bold, the ones who are willing to pay the price, no matter how steep it gets. You are that person. You've proven it every time you chose sacrifice over comfort. Every time you silenced the voice in your head that said, "Stop, it's too hard." Every time you stood back up after life knocked you down. And now, you're unstoppable. Because you've learned the most important truth of all. Pain is temporary, but quitting, that's forever. And as long as you keep moving forward, as long as you refuse to quit, you can't lose. Because every failure, every setback, every struggle, it's not the end. It's a lesson. It's a stepping stone. It's a part of the process that will take you closer to where you want to be. So don't fear the pain. Don't fear the sacrifice. Embrace it. Because every time you endure it, you're building something stronger than any dream. You're building you. The version of you that doesn't back down. The version of you that takes the hits and keeps going. The version of you that refuses to settle for anything less than the life you deserve. And that version of you, that's the weapon. That's the force the world can't stop. Because when your mind is strong, when your will is unshakable, nothing can defeat you. Not fear, not failure, not even the darkest of days. So keep going. Keep pushing. Keep proving to yourself, every single day, that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. Because you are. And when you finally reach the top, when you stand at the summit of everything you've worked for, you'll look back and smile. Not because it was easy, but because it was worth it. And you'll realize something that only those who've walked this path can truly understand. You didn't just achieve a dream. You earned it. You fought for it. You sacrificed for it. And in the process, you became someone who can conquer anything. So now the question isn't whether you'll succeed. The question is, how much further will you go? Because for someone like you, someone who refuses to quit, there are no limits. There are only new heights to climb, new battles to win, new dreams to chase. So keep moving forward. Keep sacrificing. Keep mastering your mind. Because the life you want, it's already yours. You just have to go and take it. And taking it won't be easy, nothing worth having ever is. But you've already proven that ease isn't what you're after. You don't crave comfort. You don't need shortcuts. You don't flinch at the idea of sacrifice. Because deep down you understand the truth. The harder the road, the greater the reward. And the reward isn't just the dream. It's the strength, the resilience, the fire that comes from walking through hell and coming out the other side. Every time you've been tested, you've risen. Every time life has tried to break you, you've pushed back harder. And now, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. Because the mindset you've built, the discipline you've mastered, the sacrifices you've made, they've turned you into someone unshakable. Someone who doesn't just dream of greatness, but demands it. Someone who understands that the only way to truly fail is to give up. And giving up, that's not in your vocabulary. You've come too far, fought too hard, bled too much to quit now. The road ahead might still be long. It might still be brutal. It might test you in ways you can't even imagine yet. But none of that matters. Because you've decided, once and for all, that you're in this for the long haul. You've chosen to bet on yourself, to back yourself, to believe in yourself even when no one else does. And that's why you can't lose. Because the person who refuses to quit is the person who always wins in the end. So when the world tries to knock you down again, and it will, don't flinch. Don't back down. Don't let the weight of it all crush you. Stand tall. Stand strong. And remind yourself that you've faced worse before. That you've sacrificed more than most people ever will. That you've already proven, time and time again, that you're capable of enduring anything. And most importantly, remind yourself that every ounce of pain, every drop of sweat, every sleepless night, it's all bringing you closer to what you want. Closer to the life you've imagined. Closer to the legacy you're building. Because this isn't just about you. It's about proving to the world and to yourself that no matter what life throws at you, you'll keep going. That you'll rise every time you fall. That you'll fight every battle, climb every mountain, and break through every wall standing in your way. Because you've already made the most important decision of all. You've decided that quitting isn't an option. And with that decision comes power. The power to keep moving forward, no matter how hard it gets. The power to turn pain into progress, setbacks into stepping stones, doubt into determination. And that power, that's what will carry you to the finish line. Not luck, not talent, not chance. Just you. Your grit, your discipline, your unwavering belief that you are meant for more. So keep going. Keep fighting. Keep sacrificing. Because you're not just chasing a dream, you're becoming the person who makes dreams a reality. And that person, that's the real victory. That's the legacy. That's the proof that no matter how dark the journey gets, the light at the end is always worth it. And when you finally reach that light, when you stand there and look back at everything you've overcome, you'll realize one thing. You didn't just win. You conquered. You didn't just survive. You thrived. And you didn't just build a dream. You built yourself. The strongest, sharpest, most unstoppable version of you. Now go. Finish what you started. And show the world what happens when someone refuses to give up. Because when you refuse to give up, you become the definition of resilience. You embody a force that cannot be ignored, a presence that cannot be silenced. You stop being just another person with a dream and become the storm that shapes the world around you. You'll see it in their eyes, the ones who doubted you, the ones who underestimated your strength. They'll wonder how you did it, how you turned every failure into fuel, every setback into a lesson, every doubt into determination. But they'll never truly understand. They won't know about the nights you sat alone, questioning yourself, battling the voices in your head that whispered, "You're not enough." They won't see the sacrifices you made, the tears you shed, the pain you carried. And that's fine, because this wasn't for them. This was for you, for the part of you that refused to settle, that knew deep down you were capable of more, the part of you that didn't just want to dream, you wanted to live it. And now, with every step you take, you're proving something that most people will never understand. That mindset isn't just important, it's everything. It's the foundation, the weapon, the edge that separates those who try from those who succeed. And you've mastered it. You've learned to control your thoughts, to silence the fear, to override the doubt. You've turned your mind into your greatest ally, your sharpest tool, your most loyal partner in this fight. Because when you master your mind, you master your life. And that's what makes you unstoppable. Not the talent you were born with, not the resources at your disposal, not the luck that came your way. It's the choice you made to never back down, to never let fear control you, to never stop moving forward. That choice is what built you. It's what carried you through the darkness, through the storms, through the moments when giving up seemed like the only option. And it's the choice that will carry you to the finish line. Because the truth is, you can't lose. Not when your mind is your weapon. Not when you've proven, time and time again, that you can endure anything. Not when you've chosen to rise, no matter how many times you fall. So don't stop now. Don't let the pain, the struggle, the fear hold you back. Because every time you keep going, every time you push through, every time you refuse to quit, you're not just moving closer to your dream, you're becoming the person who deserves it. And that person, that's the real prize. The version of you that doesn't just survive but thrives. The version of you that doesn't just dream but achieves. The version of you that proves, once and for all, that nothing is impossible. So keep fighting. Keep sacrificing. Keep moving forward. Because the life you want, the dream you're chasing, the legacy you're building, it's already yours. You just have to claim it. And when you do, the world will see what happens when someone refuses to quit. They'll see what happens when someone masters their mind, sharpens their focus, and sacrifices everything for what they believe in. And they'll realize one thing. You weren't just chasing a dream. You were building a legacy. And now, that legacy, it's unshakable. It's unstoppable. And it's yours. Now go. Take what's yours. And show the world what it means to truly win.